Well, we begin with another powerful storm taking aim at the Bay Area tonight. Good evening, I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We're already seeing downed trees and power lines and one huge problem along the coast. The biggest area of the concern is in Santa Cruz, where 3 people fell into the water today when part of the wharf suddenly collapsed. Firefighters say they had to rescue 2 people. The third was able to swim to safety. Here's a live look right now from Santa Cruz Wharf right now. As you can see, very foggy conditions. A lot of people out there looking at that pier where a 150-foot section did fall into the water. This all happened around 1 p.m. Authorities say it was in the closed-off area near the Dolphin restaurant, which was slated for demolition due to damage from previous storms.
I can't say that this is terribly surprising. We have a wharf and a public roadway and businesses out over a mile of open ocean. And so we are taking this very seriously.
This most recent incident was another testament to the power of our changing climate. The planning for these potential incidents each year, it's really blowing through our forecasts.
Well, thankfully, the 3 people who fell in the water did not suffer serious injuries, but witnesses say there were some nervous moments when a monster wave began approaching that wharf.
As the wave came, I told my kids, scoot back from the railing, watch out for this one. And the wharf began to pick up like a wave and come towards us. It was like a movie. I said, evacuate, turn around.
And this is drone footage from above the wharf. You can see all that debris now floating in the water right now. The part of the wharf that collapsed was already closed due to previous storm damage. You may remember back in January of 2023. That's when a powerful storms made a huge mess of this wharf. Meanwhile, here's the scene in the city of Napa today. A falling tree took out some power lines around 7 o'clock this morning, knocking out power to more than 2,700 customers. Authorities closed parts of Spencer, Jefferson, and George streets due to the danger. And here's a look at the current outage map right now. We will likely see widespread outages as this week moves on. And let's give you a live look outside right now, where we've seen some periods of rain throughout the day, and now the heavy stuff is about to arrive. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz is tracking the wet weather heading into Christmas Eve. And so this is almost just kind of a preview of what's to come.
Yeah, some heavy rain, strong winds overnight tonight and very early tomorrow morning. But the good news is it's a quick mover, so it's not going to be crazy impactful for very long. That is the best news with this upcoming system, is the fact that it's only going to be impacting us for, I would say, about 6 to 12 hours max. So flooding concerns are very low, but winds are definitely bigger issues. You can see it's actually a bomb cyclone that's developed up to our north, and the trailing cold front is what's going to be impacting us over the next several hours. So do keep that in mind. We are going to continue to see the rain getting heavier and heavier, because right now it's just some lighter, mistier conditions, and it likely is going to stay that way throughout the next couple of hours. Again, it's not until the overnight hours that stronger line of rain and storms will be arriving. We also, again, like we were talking about, have that high surf warning in effect until 6 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We'll be seeing waves up to 30 to 40 feet and potentially on some beaches up to 60-foot waves possible, as this is, again, a very powerful storm system. And we're going to continue to see the chance for even more rain throughout the rest of the week ahead of us. But there is really good news. Tuesday night and into Wednesday, very low chances for rain. In fact, the lowest that we'll see over the next 7 days. So enjoy a very quiet Christmas. But we have some rain to get through up until then, and we are going to continue to see, again, a lot of it heading our way tonight. Let's break down the details on the timing of this upcoming system, because, again, it is going to be arriving later today. This is now through about 11 p.m., where the heavier rain will be setting up along our coastal communities, but farther inland, it, again, is just going to be those low-hanging clouds and mist. We're going to continue to see even more rain and heavier rain, potentially even an isolated thunderstorm arriving at about 2 a.m. to our North Bay communities. You can see that line that has some red and some orange embedded in this. This is going to be where we're going to be seeing the heaviest rain. That rain moving over the Bay Area through early tomorrow morning. This is our view at 5 a.m. If you want to follow along the bottom right corner of your screen, we do finally have timestamps to hopefully help play this out a little bit easier for you all to see. Again, we'll be seeing that widespread activity from 5 to 8 a.m. So any early morning commuting you have to do tomorrow, it is going to be a rainy one. It is going to be a windy one, but maybe your commute isn't going to be until after about 8 or 9 a.m. that's when things will finally begin to clear out. So maybe wait until the later morning hours if you have any plans, because that's when most of the activity will be out of our hair, drying out until late Tuesday, much drier by Wednesday, but it's not going to stay dry forever. I'll break down the details on when that next round of rain will return and if it will impact your holiday travels. That'll be coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Zoe. Well, let's give you a live look at the beach in Pacifica, where powerful waves, rising sea levels are making their presence known. Look at that right there. You can see the flags kind of whipping in the wind right there, and the small swells, and maybe a couple surfers out there as well. Our Kenny Choi is live at 4 Point in San Francisco, where seasoned surfers are now taking on those waves. But forecasters, well, they're urging caution. Kenny.
Yeah, you could say that for sure, Ryan. We've been watching some of these experienced surfers testing their limits throughout the day. This latest storm and swell are bringing in some powerful sets of waves and some pounding surf.
Wicked waves incessantly pounding into the shoreline, ripping leashes and swallowing up boards. Chris Reddick took his chances.
Definitely nothing to take lightly. I'm an avid water person, and if you weren't, you'd probably be in a little different situation.
The San Francisco surfer escaped safely, but not before his board got pounded into rocks and snapped in half as waves were projected to reach 15 feet at the surf break.
Not friendly, that's what I would say. Yeah, there's a lot of water moving.
The powerful northwest swell brought 50-foot waves and epic surf conditions in Hawaii for the Eddie Aikau Big Wave Surf event.
This one's a little bit different. It's had the entirety of the Pacific to really generate across.
For all beaches along the Pacific coast, the National Weather Service sent out an extreme weather risk warning of dangerous and potentially life-threatening conditions.
The swell has actually showed up a lot larger and a lot earlier than we initially thought. And so hence the reason we have not only the high surf warning out, but we also have the coastal flood warning out.
The sizable surf was too tempting for many surfers seeking fun rides while taking precautions.
It's a great workout, great way to stay in shape.
Forecasters say expect very high surf, rip currents, sneaker waves, and coastal flooding through Tuesday, with very rough seas for boaters and breaking waves up to 40 feet. For these surfers testing the elements, the short day in the rough waters was part lack of fitness.
I was done. That was too much turkey at Thanksgiving, so it's been tough to paddle through this.
And a powerful swell.
Considering the circumstances, it was pretty smooth.
That humbled even seasoned surfers, snapping up what they brought in.
So back out here live at 4 Point, you could see some of the conditions right now at this hour. There are a couple people out there on paddle boards and a foil surfboard. But once again, the major takeaway from all of this is that these are seasoned surfers. I've been watching them throughout the day. They know what they're doing. But again, that warning from the National Weather Service for dangerous surf conditions all along the Pacific coast, as well as coastal flooding warnings out there, just shows you exactly what we're dealing with, a very powerful northwest swell.
And Kenny, I know you're an avid surfer yourself. Is there any part of you in your mind that says, I can do that?
It's a good question, Ryan. I've been watching from a distance. I would love to be out there, but I had a job to do today. I'll be very honest. I mean, I have surfed out here at 4 Point many times. What I'm seeing right now are really rough conditions. If you really want to test your limits and you're experienced, very experienced, then you can head out there. But again, that warning is for most people out there who don't have that experience in the water. There are dangerous conditions. And as you saw in that piece, there were surfers who had been doing this for a very long time, and we saw them get into some trouble.
Yeah, got in trouble. They lost their boards. All right. Well, thank you, Kenny Choi, reporting live from 4 Point.